2018. Eric, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Pye?
Here.
Commissioner Brown?
Here.
Commissioner Rivers?
Here.
Commissioner Magera?
Here.
President Hartman?
Here. If I can, everybody stand in for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks. All right, obviously no guests. All right, I need a motion to approve the agenda for tonight's meeting.
And do the minutes first.
Huh?
The minutes are listed first.
Oh, I'm sorry, my fault. Minutes. I need a motion to approve the minutes of the meeting for 21st June 2018, of the regular meeting and also for the Personal Finance Subcommittee meeting.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of the Personnel and Finance Subcommittee and the regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Zion Park District dated 21st day of June 2018.
Second, any questions? All right, Eric, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Magera?
Aye.
Commissioner Rivers?
Aye.
Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner Pye?
Aye.
President Hartman?
Aye. Okay, thanks, Marilyn. Now, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda for this evening's meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting as stated for tonight's meeting, July 19th, 2018.
I have a second.
A second?
I have a second. Any comments, questions? Eric, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner Pye?
Aye.
Commissioner Rivers?
Aye.
Commissioner Magera?
Aye.
President Hartman?
Aye. Okay, commissioners' comments. Any commissioners have any comments? Actually, I do. I'd like to thank everybody for the outstanding 4th of July celebration. I don't know if any of you guys had a chance to get there, but it was second to none. Again, the attendance, I think, was down a little bit, but I think that's because of the weather. But everything else was outstanding. Okay, I got a chance to go over to the pool. Great job, as always, those guys do over there. And then the baseball, I was throughout the first pitch for the little guys, the first game, and then I'm not sure exactly what happened the second game, but I was really touched by what the kids did after the game. They actually gave me a ball, both teams signed it, and I thought that was really nice. So my hat's off to those guys. Kids played a hell of a game. And again, Dave Osborne did a great job getting that all set up. So again, what can I say? I mean, it's just, I don't expect anything less. It's just such an outstanding job, and by everybody. Everybody did a great job, and I greatly appreciate everybody's help and success. So thanks. Anything else? Okay. Anything from the attorney, Meryl?
No.
Okay. All right. I will need a motion to approve the unpaid bills.
I'll make a motion to approve June's total unpaid bills of $200,091.75 and a total paid June bills of $110,876.58 for a June grand total to be approved of $310,968.33.
All right, I have a second. All right, I have a second. Any questions? Eric, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Rivers?
Here. Aye.
Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner Pye?
Aye.
Commissioner Magera?
Aye.
President Hartman?
Aye. Before we go any farther, we will be going into executive session tonight, so I forgot to put that during the agenda part of it, but we will be going into executive
It
session.
is on there.
Okay. All right, Marilyn?
Okay, the 4th of July report is not complete for tonight, so I apologize. I had that on there. I thought we'd get it done, but it's not. So I want to give you the exact statistics, so I'll bring that to the next meeting. July is Parks and Recreation Month, so Jesse has an example. That's the new, this year's theme is what we put on our 4th of July shirts.
Creative community through people, parks, and
People,
programs.
parks and programs. I liked that. I thought it really fits us well. And so the other things that we're doing to celebrate is we did Get Your Plan again. That's where we go out to local parks in the neighborhood. So we went to Jordan Park and Shiloh Park, and we'll be doing one more at Herman Park next week. And we gather up the kids and we play games, and it's kind of a get involved in the neighborhood park with the kids who are there playing, and bring some games and things like that. So it's a really fun program. And the turquoise tables, I don't know if anybody noticed that, we have the turquoise picnic tables. That's something that we started kind of combining the concerts and it's a national program, the turquoise table, that is in place for you to come out and meet your neighbors in public spaces. So this is the first park, but we do have a group that actually wants to build a table and put it out at a bunch of neighbors that want to do that out at Jordan Park and start. So I'm hoping maybe we'll have that happen in the neighborhood parks where neighbors want to come together and build a table or paint a table and come out and meet the people in their neighborhoods. So I think it's a great movement. We're hoping that that people enjoy it. I think especially on Thursday nights with the concerts, there seems to be a lot of interest with that. So that's July Parks and Recreation Month. The two other things that I didn't have on there, the pool audit, we had our July audit. We had another meets, so for June and July we had meets. We have a very young staff, and they're well trained. I have nothing but confidence in that group at our pool, taking care of the patrons there, and they're doing a good job. And the August meeting packets, just to prepare you, I'm going to be on vacation the week that I generally send out the packets. So I'm not going to send them until the Tuesday before the meeting. So that week, instead of Friday before, it's going to be the Tuesday of the week of the meeting. I'll be back on Tuesday. I'll try and get them all out to you. It's hard to try and do it a week early because the bills and all the financial stuff, that's just rushing that process, and so I think we're just sending the whole thing out at one time. So unless anybody has a problem with that, that's my plan. That's it.
All right, any questions, comments from the commissioners? Okay. All right, final agreement for the CTCA.
Right, so I have that final agreement. So 2 months ago, we talked about the CTCA agreement. So they didn't have any changes to the duration, which is 2 years, and the dollar amount, which is going up each month. They just had some minor changes in the contract. One was the I think they have CTCA on their badges now instead of MRMC. That's a change within the hospital. So they wanted to make sure that that was listed in here. Other than that, nothing changed. We worked through the attorneys to make the
Yeah, so
agreement
this is just
favorable
an
to
info
both.
type.
So we already voted on this, so I really just wanted to make sure that everybody understands that nothing has changed with that.
Mhm.
We have a signed copy here from Scott Jones, the president and CEO, and so that's the copy that I'm going to have Bill sign, and then we'll have a fully completed document that I will send back to them.
Okay.
Quick question on number 4, what goes in indemnification?
Yes.
Goes back to RMC on the copy we have in our hand. Is that reflected in the new one? You said CTCA, and then it continues with MRMC.
Yeah, they
for input.
utilize that terminology. I think that they've only done CTCA for their employee passes. It's still MRMC
Okay.
of CTCA.
Got it.
So that didn't change in
Okay.
here for that. I'm not exactly sure. It's their corporate.
So we're-
Understood.
You know, I think it's just the badges and things like that, because they do have some corporate employees in the building, and then they have the hospital employees, so they just want to make sure. So I think that's the only thing.
Okay.
All right? So unless there's any questions about this, we don't have to re-vote on this. We
No.
already did it.
Just info.
Just information, you can sign that bill, and then we can send that back to them. But
Okay.
I'm happy that they didn't make any changes on the length or they did agree to the increased dollar amount. So, you know, they're working with us again, which we appreciate. It's helpful for,
Okay. Anything else?
that's
Any
all on
questions?
that.
Okay. Next is the first report of the, what's that, Camosi facility?
Okay. And hand those out. So, I wanted to go through this before I gave it to you, that's why I didn't put it in the packet. First of all, we were finalizing everything, but I wanted to have a discussion about this, and then I'm going to give you time to read it before our next meeting, and then we can talk about if there's anything that you want changed or something that you don't like how it's put together in here, because we did work on trying to make this readable for everybody so that you would understand. And I'm impressed and pleased with the caliber of this document. This is what we need, you know, this is what the agreement was for them to do, and they're going to do this on all the facilities in some parks. So I think it's very thorough. The pictures, I think, are very helpful for you to see, you know, where the problem areas are within particularly this facility. I'm going to say that this is probably the worst of all of our facilities. It's in the worst shape. There's some real issues here. And if you go back to the conclusion on page 33, they've outlined 6 options that we have for how to move forward with this particular building.
What page?
33.
So this is the maintenance building.
This is the Hebron Maintenance Garage. We did it first because it is the most extensive with the most issues. I anticipate probably a combination of options, looking at a combination of options. I think this is something that we are going to have to do a bond issuance specifically to address long-term what we're going to do for a maintenance building. But I want to give you time to read through it and really look at the options and what we have going. But just some food for thought that I have had Sonalita, who is the Economic Development Director, look at possible buildings that we could utilize in the community, that we could go look at and update or work with the operation that we have. We're talking staff, we're talking about, you know, do we need this much space? Is there a way to change the way our operation works in order to reduce that size? The facility itself there, I'm not sure we want to put any money into it because a Band-Aid is going to cost us a whole bunch of money, and it's just a Band-Aid. And even the property there, with the way that it's situated, it's lower than the street. It's going to take a lot of work to, even if we were to knock down the building that's there, it's going to take a lot of work to bring it up to a possible building site. So there's a lot of options. And it's something we probably have to decide on within the next 6 months. Now that we're apprised of what really are the issues in that building, there's some major issues that we have to address. now we have knowledge of them, we're gonna have to work on this. And that's not a surprise to me. I think it's been something that has been deferred over the years, but, you know, that's why it's in the shape it's in. So I just want you to be open to ideas, read through it, get familiar with what the issues are, what the options are, and this, you know, this isn't all the options, but these were the, like the first thoughts that we had. Hopefully, we can maybe look at a couple of buildings in the community that might be possibilities, and we'll be talking about that at the next meeting. I don't know, you know, I'm not saying that that's a solution either, and, you know, do you just rent something until we figure out what we're gonna do? So there's short and long term.
Well, even if they do the work on this, and the way it looks here, they're gonna have to move anyway,
Probably, yes.
because they're not gonna be able to do the work that I kind of just breezed through and saw. I mean, I'm sure they're gonna want everybody out of that building before they start working, so.
Yes, that's definitely a possibility. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm kind of getting on top of it now, so
Mhm.
we really do have some, you know, what is that gonna cost? You know, we have to look at that too, as a possibility.
So-
Good question.
I do have a question. It says that we took occupancy of the Heber garage in '97. What was it before that?
It was the city maintenance building.
City maintenance.
We swapped with the city, so they were in that building, and we were over at the other end of Hebron,
Okay.
where the public service were.
Oh, yes.
That building, that was the Park District garage. And there was a swap.
It was right about the time I moved here, so I'd never remembered it being
Right.
in the city.
Yeah, so it was the city building, and that was the Park District. So they did a swap, and then the building, you know, the city was looking at building a new facility. So it was an old building built in the '50s. Well, parts of it. It was kind of built and added on to over time. It's got a lot of water issues.
So is this a time-sensitive issue where something needs to be solved pretty quick?
Yes. Yes, I'm giving us 6 months to do that. I don't know that we're gonna take all that time, but in my mind, that's a reasonable time frame to figure out even short-term what we're gonna do, right? And then, you know, that short-term solution hopefully leading us to what is our long-term solution. So, but yes, the short-term solution is that we have to do something.
Right now.
Mhm. So, you know, and that's gonna take also, because like I said, I think this is gonna take some bond dollars. This isn't gonna be a capital project thing that we're gonna be able to do.
Too much.
So, you know, that takes, you know, the whole finance picture too, which, you know, we haven't met with Dave, but, you know, we're gonna have to do that, just as we kind of roll through this thing. But it's really time for us to do that with him anyway, you know, and we know where we're at with this bonds that we're doing now, but we're gonna have to look at forward thinking. So, but, you know, read through it. If there's parts of it that are confusing or that you're not getting, let me know, because the one thing that the person, John Bosman is the person from Camosi who we're working with on this, you know, he's very interested in making sure that it's understandable. So if we need to change some wording, we need to know that. And I will probably have him come into a meeting in the next month or two as we get a few more, because he's working on the pool now. That's probably our second biggest project that we're gonna have to look at. And so then, and that will give you time to read through it. So probably in the next month or two, he'll come in. So then you can really ask questions, or if there's something you want to clarify, he can talk a little bit about methods of, you know, how he's doing this. And so take some time though and read it, because I would like to.
I will be out of town.
Okay.
Okay, anybody have any questions?
Think about that.
All right. Sounds good. All right, next. request for parking for Shiloh Golf Course.
Right, New Tech approached me about utilizing the parking lot at Shiloh Golf Course when they start school in August. And then they were talking about through November. I think the Pierce campus tear down is behind schedule already. I think they were planning on it being down before now. It looks like probably they're getting ready to take it down because they put the fence up. But so it could be through November. It could be later than that. We didn't talk dollars and cents, but I think they probably would give us some kind of compensation for utilizing it. I talked to Alan. We're talking about Monday through Friday for probably teacher parking would be my guess, just because there's parking is going to be really limited over there, and it would give them a place for teachers to come and park. And so we don't think it will probably be a problem even in August when we're still, August, September, October, we're still golfing, but during the week it probably will be manageable for us. And so I just want to make sure that you guys are all comfortable and understand that. And
Will you have it marked off and designated?
probably, yes.
Okay. Anybody else have anything?
Any questions about that?
Well, just a little bit, and I'm wondering, because that's still a lot of usage of the parking lot, would they be willing to actually, or will they be helping with the maintenance of the parking lot?
Yeah, I think there will be some compensation for that. So that's a good question. I will confirm that. I didn't respond to them yet, one way or the other, because I want to know that you were on board with it. So whatever comes back from them, I'll bring back to you that we're going to do this. They're going to have insurance. They're going to have to be identified as additional insured. All of that still is to come. So
Will there be conflicts with like the turkey that during the week, or is that on the weekend?
I think that's
It's
a
on the
weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, I think everything is weekend.
It's like, yeah, I think it's on.
And then
Once we get into the end of August, I think everything is on the weekend.
Okay, anybody else have any good questions? Anybody else have anything?
Yeah, those are good questions. I'll make sure to get those in there.
Okay. Next is the funding support for Lake County Forest Preserve.
Right, so this is something that I got in the email today that I wanted to share with you. It really does explain what they're looking for. So the Lake Michigan watershed is a small but tremendous asset to the region of the state. We have a part of that in Beulah Park and a part of that in Carmel Park. And the Coastal Management Program, which is a department of the Illinois Natural Resources, and the Stormwater Management Commission, which is a Lake County department, and several local partners. So that would be the villages and the park districts along the lake shore, from the state line all the way down to, I think, Highland Park is where that watershed is. And it goes up into Kenosha too, but that's Wisconsin. So they've done one study on the watershed ravines. They're commissioning another, and I think that the Coastal Management Program has agreed to $200,000 grant for this project. Stormwater Management is putting in some. I don't know if their amount is published. They're looking for local partners to put in some matching funds so that they can fund this study. So the study is of the ravines. Once they have that done, that's when, if you read through here, so the 9-element watershed management plan will summarize the overall conditions of the watershed and recommend actions to improve water quality. So that's what it's about. It's about the runoff water that's going into Lake Michigan, which is, as we all know, where all of us get our drinking water. So once they have that plan in place, that's when you start getting federal money to come in and do maintenance or restoration, or all of the components that they identify as what is needed in order to get the best water quality going into Lake Michigan. So I think we want to be part of that. I have gotten more involved with stormwater management, Lake County, through that Ramsar designation that we got a few years ago. We worked with that group. The coastal management program has some funds. Those are federal funds that they have, that we have utilized. We got a grant from them to do some signage out there. And I think that that's an opportunity for us to continue. So we want to be a partner with all of these agencies. So they're asking for $5,000 or $10,000. I think that we should consider that dollar amount. I think $5,000 would be appreciated, welcomed. I'm sure $10,000 would be more welcomed, but I think that we'd be good partners if we even just went with the $5,000.
Yeah, this is pretty serious stuff. I mean, I was involved with this in our subdivision, and this is no laughing matter, and they take this very serious. So I totally agree. I think we should get on board with it and do what we can, because again, I was involved with this when we moved into the subdivision, and we don't play games. They're pretty serious.
No, and there is a lot of federal money, I think, that you have to do these steps to get there. I mean, it's just like any funding, you got to have all the pieces in place. So they're doing it the right way, and
So do we have to make a decision tonight on the dollar amount, or does it?
yes, I would like to do that so I can tell them, because it's coming up quickly. I did get a call. I got an actual phone call from Jim Anderson, so they're looking for commitments.
Decision?
Yeah, they're looking for commitments now.
All right, well, first I'll entertain a motion to first support this, and then we'll go with the dollar amount of either $5,000 or $10,000. So first I'll entertain a motion that we approve to be partners with the Lake County Forest Preserve District.
Oh, you need two motions for
Yeah,
that?
we'll do it
I'll
twice.
make a motion that we partner with
It's Lake County Forest
Lake
Preserve
County Forest
District.
Preserve District,
I will
stormwater management.
Okay, I have a second. Any questions? Eric, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Pye,
Aye.
Commissioner Rivers,
Aye.
Commissioner McGarrett,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
President Hartman.
Aye. Okay, now for the dollar amount.
Okay, so my thoughts on that are that we definitely, I think, want to offer the minimum of $5,000. This is probably something that they would go to the city on also. Knowing the city's budget, they're probably not going to be able to come up with another $5,000. But I don't think that really impacts us. I think we just have to make a decision on what we want to do. So
Well, what's your recommendation?
I would say my recommendation is probably $5,000.
Okay. All right. I'll entertain a motion to approve the $5,000 to support the Lake County Forest Preserve. Or do we want to go to the $10,000? And we'll open it for discussion, then we'll make an approval. I personally agree we should just stick with the $5,000, see what they say, and if worst case scenario, we can just bring it back on the agenda and talk about it from there. I mean,
Unless you made a motion to say up to
yeah,
10,000.
or we can do that.
Give five.
And then give you the option to depend on if they start. That's a good point. Good point.
Yeah, that's not a bad way to do it. I mean, I could have a conversation with them further.
And then just let us know if it's gonna be higher than $5,000.
Or, then the city, if they do kick in, then.
Yeah, we'll just stick with the
If we don't,
5,000. Yeah, because this is not, I mean, this is the
Yeah, I
whole
haven't
scary
talked to
stuff.
anybody to find out if they have approached the city and if
Okay.
they've had any discussions, do you know?
All right, well,
Don't
that,
know that, but as a point of discussion, I was involved in one, a similar project down at Fort Sheridan, and if it wasn't for the study that was done on the creek that ran through there, that exited into Lake Michigan, they would not have found some of the, I know this is different than what we have, but I'll bring it to us here in a second. They found people from World War I that were gassed with mustard gas and put in unmarked graves because of the watershed study. Now, to bring that to us, we have Kellogg Creek that runs through the Illinois Beach State Park, which was Camp Logan is up there. Camp Logan was a World War I and World War II camp for the military, and we held prisoners of war there. So as an example, if we don't do our due diligence with this study and back it, we don't know what we're going to come up with. At the same time, we brought up a huge point of discussion with this building project. We're talking $2 to $4 million. So $5,000 compared to 2 or 4, that is a small amount, but I feel that the importance of the watershed study is super important. Ophir Park, we've already talked about that as a prime example. We have a small creek running through there, and the ground is terrible there, and it's collapsing on itself. So I think it's important. So with what you said, the range, and I wish I heard how you said it because I'd make the motion myself, but between 5 and 10.
Yeah.
yeah,
I'll
that's
just say
a-
up to 10.
Up
Up
to
to
10,
10.
right.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right, I will entertain a motion to approve from 5 to up to 10 grand for the Lake County Forest Preserve.
I make a motion. There you go. You did it first. I'll second it.
I have a second. Any discussions? All right, Eric, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Rivers,
Aye.
Commissioner Pye,
Aye.
Commissioner McGarrett,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
President Hartman.
Aye. Good discussion. Okay, next is the contract with G. Wald Hamilton.
Okay, so, the Walt Hamilton approached us with a, grant opportunity through, the National Park and Recreation and Park Association for green infrastructure and water quality. So Todd and I talked about, what are issues that we're having, and one of the issues that we're having is that we had flooding in the Shiloh Center twice, once in May and once in June. Yeah. So that building can't take that kind of water. So we talked to them about that as a possibility for this grant. It's an urban grant, and so to start with, writing the grant and putting together the documentation that we need in order to request funds. So we started with, they figured out what that cost would be for us and how that was going to move forward and where that would end us up. So it would be that they would write the grant, that they would do some of the engineering studies as part of that process, and we would apply for grant funds from $125,000 to $150,000. They came back to me with that it probably was going to be about double that to do what they're thinking about doing at that pond, which is remove a bunch of the hardscape, which is that patio, and make green infrastructure in front of that building, berm the pond up so it can't go over, and just make sure that there are the systems in place to take that water away from the building. And then put in bioswales and put in more green space for people to enjoy sitting over there at the end of that pond, okay? So the grant application is due on August 3rd. So I went ahead and agreed to getting that done. Whether we get the grant or not, it's going to cost us up to $6,800. But if we don't get the grant, or if we get the grant, it'll be rolled into that or into those dollars. If we don't get the grant, we'll pay it, but then we will have a plan that we can take hopefully to another granting opportunity. They also contacted Stormwater Management to see about any funding that they might be able to contribute into this, which would, give us probably a leg up on the grant if we have more partners. And they seemed very interested. So they didn't give us any dollar amount, but they're interested. So that process has actually started. And the one caution that I got from Greg Petrie is a consultant with them. He used to be the director at Waukegan Park District, and he's going to be writing the grant or parts of it. One caution he gave to me was that NRPA considers urban areas to be big cities. So we may be at a disadvantage because of the size of our city. But because of the makeup of our community, that may count in our favor that, we're a low income area. And, I think that this company is interested in this project, so if there's other opportunities, if we don't get this particular grant, they're going to be looking for ways to do that. If we do get the grant, probably the $100,000 we have in the construction fund will go into that project. So we'll probably spend that all on one project, but in my opinion, because we have had that building flood twice, it's not going to put up with that. Yeah, we need to figure out a solution. So that kind of rises up. So we have this rising and this as far as buildings go.
Emergency's emergency.
Yeah, so it all came together really well, and I'm hopeful we get the grant. If we don't, maybe Stormwater Management has some ideas for us also about, it's probably not a we can do part of it, it's probably a we can only do it. Yeah. That's not where we're at. Right now we are having them write this grant for us, which I think technically, the technicality of that grant, that's the best way to do it. We're getting the best use of our dollars by having them write the grant.
Yeah.
Is there a date where that grant is either, accepted?
I don't know. Yeah, it's August 3rd is when it's due. So I'm assuming that, I don't know, what do they usually take? Probably
A few months, the last one.
a few months for that. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. We did get a grant for Ophir Park. Did I put that? I think I put that in my report. That we got that ComEd grant to put in a pollinator garden down there. So that's going to look really nice, I think, once it's established. So I just wanted to let you know where we were at with that. I went ahead and signed the agreement to get the grant application done and agreed to that contract was vetted by Ansel Link, and they pretty much accepted all the changes that Jim asked them to put into the document, the agreement. So
Okay, any other questions?
that's where we're at.
All right. Anything else?
It's not going to be probably happening in September when you're not here. It's probably when we'll find out. Maybe not till October though.
Anything else?
No.
Okay. All right. I will go ahead and entertain a motion that we go into executive session.
I make a motion that we go into executive session for the purpose of
The board discussing employment compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees pursuant to section 2C1 of the Illinois Open Meetings Act.
I have a second.
Second.
I have a second. Any questions? Eric, please read the roll call.
Commissioner McGarrett,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Rivers,
Aye.
Commissioner Pye,
Aye.
President Hartman,
Aye.